Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to talk about a game that shut down 6 months ago actually, and that game is Battlefront 2 2017, done by EA and DICE. Now, I'm going to kind of skip over the story section. If you want a review of the story, I'll do that in another video, but today I'm going to be talking about the battles part of the game, which is actually really good, because it covers all the eras, unlike its predecessor, which only did Empire and the Empire and Rebellion. So let's start with the prequel trilogy, or as I like to call it, the Clone Wars era, because there's hardly any non-Clone Wars content in there. In fact, all of it's Clone Wars somewhere along the line. So let's get into that. Let's start with the heroes. Anakin Skywalker, of course. Obi-Wan Kenobi, because again, you have to. Master Yoda, because again, duh. And lastly, Chewbacca. And the reason for that is that he made a cameo in the Clone Wars, one or two episodes, and he was in Revenge of the Sith with Master Yoda. And the foot soldiers of this era for the Republic are, of course, the clones. Like, they had to do that, really. And there's a gajillion different skins, so you can have any legion you want, really. You have the heavy trooper, the standard, the officer, the specialist, which is the sniper class. You have the clone commando, which is bringing back some old Republic Commando content, which is all kinds of cool with me. The ARC trooper, which is also really cool. And the Wookiee warrior. So he's the only non-clone foot soldier that you have for the Republic era, which, okay, sure. And there's 4 planets to each era, which I'm going to discuss right now. One, you have Naboo for the prequels, Geonosis for the prequels, Kashyyyk for the prequels, and Kamino for the prequels, which is the 4 prequel planets, as I've just mentioned, all of which are really, really cool, actually. Really big maps, except for Kashyyyk. That's kind of small, actually. Although, the only part we saw of Kashyyyk was pretty small, so kind of makes sense, in all honesty. But, well, you know, it's pretty cool. Moving on to the villains of this era. Again, there's four to this era, which are Darth Maul, Count Dooku, General Grievous, and Emperor Palpatine. Because, of course, he was there in the Clone Wars era, just not as he actually looks, because he's got his melted face, so technically he's Revenge of the Sith Palpatine, but okay, sure. And of course you have the droid army, backing them up. Again, specialist, standard trooper, well, the assault class, actually, I should call it. The officer and the heavy, supported by the BX commando droids, the B2 battle droids, and the B2 rocket droids. Oh yeah, the Republic jet troopers are a thing as well, which I completely forgot to mention. Whoops. I'll do the vehicles and stuff later, because that's a whole other section. Now, let's go to the next film, Solo, because we got some Solo content as it came out 6 months after the game did, so they just added it in. So, nice one. And there are 4 pieces of content. There's the Planet Castle, which you will know if you've watched A New Hope, and the Clone Wars, and the film itself, obviously. There's a skin for Han Solo, which gives him the face of Alden Ehrenreich. Hope I've pronounced that right. And a Lando Calrissian skin, which gives him the face of Donald Glover, or Childish Gambino, as he's more famously known. And a new Chewbacca skin, which gives him welder's goggles and the double-sided bandolier he has in that film. And if you don't know what the bandolier is, it's that strap he has across his chest, full of grenades, I assume. Or whatever those silver things are. Who knows? And there's a ship, obviously, which, again, moving on to the vehicles later on. Now, Rogue One. They got this content in by the skin of their teeth. As in, it was literally the last update they did. They reskinned some stormtroopers to give them the sand trooper look that we saw in the film. There was supposed to be a Jyn Erso and Orson Krennic, well, Director Krennic hero, but those never came to pass. But they did kind of cheap out on this one, as in they literally just ripped the map for Scarif from Battlefront 2015 and put it in this game. So, that's a bit disappointing, but oh well. Not much else we can do about that, as the game has shut down now. I love that game. Anyway, I digress. let's go to the original trilogy and the faction that actually has the most heroes in this game. The Rebel Alliance. Luke Skywalker. Leia. Princess Leia, as I should call her. Or General, whichever. Han Solo, because again, you kind of have to have him. Lando Calrissian, as he's already in the game. And Chewbacca. So, and of course, the foot soldiers backing them up, the Rebel Alliance. All the troop classes are the same throughout all eras. They just look a bit different. Some are a bit cooler than others, I'll admit. But, you know. So, you got the Rebel Alliance troopers backing them up. And they have different skins depending on which planet you're on, which is actually pretty cool. Speaking of the planets, once again, there's 4 of them. Or 3. Yeah, no, there's 4. Yeah, there's 3. There is Tatooine. Oh no, there is 4. Hoth, Bespin, and Endor, as seen in the story mode, which again I'll do at later dates. And from that, we move on to the Empire. And this is one of the smallest factions in the game, actually, as they only have 3 villains. Boba Fett, really good to see him again. The Emperor, because again, he's actually looking like he does, and by now in the timeline. And you can't have the Empire represented without Darth Vader. Yep, and he is one of the most powerful heroes/villains in the whole game. Yeah, he is ridiculously powerful. And of course, they have the Stormtrooper Corps backing them up. Oh yeah, and the Rebel Alliance, I forgot to mention one thing. They have Ewoks fighting alongside them, which is actually really funny, because there's a whole mode dedicated to Ewoks versus Stormtroopers at night, and it's hilarious. Anyway, moving back to the Empire, so you got the Stormtroopers backing them up. It's pretty cool, gotta be honest. If you play as Darth Vader, you're literally entering Beast mode, as you are near enough unkillable, unless you're one of the heroes in this next faction and era, which is the sequel trilogy, which is the Resistance versus the First Order. So, the heroes and villains of the series are a bit confusing, actually. You have Rey, of course, Finn, and, of course, BB-8. Yep, BB-8 is his own hero. And this is the really funny thing. I have seen a playthrough of Heroes vs. Villains, Darth Vader vs. BB-8. BB-8 won against Darth Vader. 1-on-1. I do not know how. It blew my mind. And I laughed for about 10 minutes continuously after that. So, that was pretty funny to watch. And of course, those 3 have the Resistance troopers backing them up. So you have all the main classes. Again, all these factions have different Now, these 2 factions have different species backing them up. Well, the Resistance do, but I can't remember their names. One has a Gatling gun, one has a baton, which is really powerful. The Gatling gun is too. Whoa! The First Order has 3 villains, just like the Resistance has 3 heroes, which are Kylo Ren, Captain Phasma, for some reason, and BB-9E. Now, if you don't remember who BB-9E is, he is the black version of BB-8 from The Last Jedi, with the dog bowl head. Well, the upside-down dog bowl head, I should say. And of course, they have the First Order Stormtroopers backing them up. Except for one difference. They have the Sith Troopers as one of the commando units from The Rise of Skywalker, which are the red Stormtroopers of that era. And they're honestly super powerful. In fact, if you're playing as anything but the Assault, Heavy, Specialist, or Officer class, you've got a really powerful foot soldier on your hands. Like, whoa! Okay, guys, sorry about this. I forgot to mention the planets for the sequel era, which are Dakar, the original Resistance base, Crate, which is the place from the final scene of Last Jedi, Starkiller base, and actually, oh yeah, and another planet from Rise of Skywalker that I can't remember the name of, the forest planet that they're all on. So, sorry about that. Just a bit of post-recording, Cameron. Goodbye. And let's move on to the vehicle, shall we? There are air and land vehicles for each faction. I'm going to try to remember as many as I can, although I haven't done much vehicle playthroughs, so I'll see if I can remember as many as I can. Well, I can remember all the air vehicles, but the land vehicles I'll have to have them edited in, because I can't remember them. For the Republic, you have the V-Wing, the Clone Wars Zero Y-Wing, and the ARC 170. For the droid, you have the Tri-Droid, the Hyena Droid, and the Vulture Droid. Very imaginative names there, Droid Army. For the Rebellion, you have the X-Wing, the original trilogy Y-Wing, and the A-Wing. The Empire has the standard TIE Fighter, the TIE Interceptor, and the TIE Bomber to match up with the Y-Wing. The Resistance has the X-Wing, the Y-Wing, and the A-Wing. You're noticing a pattern here, guys? And the First Order has the same as the Empire did, just slightly looking a bit different. So, and there's hero villains and there's hero ships and villain ships. I don't know why I said hero villains, that makes no sense. So, you have, again, tons from each era. Luke's X-Wing, Poe's X-Wing, Yoda's Jedi Starfighter, yes, that's a thing. Poe's X-Wing, which leads me on to that whole confusion with the Resistance. Why wasn't Poe made one of the heroes? Would make much more sense than BB-8. Love your BB-8, but Poe. You have Kylo Ren's TIE Silencer from Last Jedi, which is a really cool ship. Vader's TIE Advanced X-1, and the Millennium Falcon, which has a variant from both The Force Awakens, which with the rectangular dish, and the Solo version, which looks really weird. You have Darth Maul's Scimitar, which is his ship from The Phantom Menace, and so many more that, honestly, I can't remember them all. And I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you want me to go over the story of this game, and the game modes, which I will do at the same time as it all falls into gameplay, I'll do that for you in a future video. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, everyone, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to mine and Roxanne's channels, and click the bell icons to get both sets of our notifications. Comment, because why not? Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links are in the description, along with Roxanne's blog and Twitter. And don't forget to share this video with all your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, sharing, and around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.